Hello, dear friend. You are watching the astrology prediction for 2021 for people who have their sun or rising sign in Aquarius. And let me start with what an year you have in front of you. Really amazing with so many changes and so many important things happening for you. Of course, the biggest news is that Jupiter and Saturn are both in your sign, both in Aquarius. And that, my friends, is a very big change. The important thing is that during the previous year, most of the time, they were in your 12th house, which frankly is not a very simple position. It's about finishing things, it's about diving in the past, it's about isolation. And those are normal and necessary phases. They are not necessarily bad, but usually people feel the need for something new to come. And that new thing is coming for you during 2021. Because when the two planets ingress your first house, that's the beginning of a new cycle. Jupiter's cycle is 12-year and Saturn cycle is 29 years approximately. So obviously this is something exceptional. Also the fact that they are joining together, those two social planets in conjunction in Aquarius. Very big transformations, especially socially, and about everything that you are doing on your own. It's about focus on your own actions, focus on your own desires, taking the risks, doing something, not recklessly, especially with Saturn there. You may need to be very cautious and practical and so on, but you will definitely feel different than the previous 1, 2 years. And before we dive deeper, actually, let me tell you that I also have a special gift for you. The January 2021 calendar is completely free. It's my gift for you. Check the link below. You can download it immediately. We also have a Google integration, which I find very amazing, very helpful. And if you like it, you can get the full version of the calendar, which also comes with an in-depth webinar. So I would love to have you on our webinar and discuss all the amazing things in 2021. So let's go back to Jupiter now. With Jupiter in Aquarius most of the year, it's time for you to start new things, especially when it comes to socially important projects, when it comes to some kind of intellectual work or some kind of community work and group activities. Communities will be very important generally for all of us in 2021, but for Aquarius, this is always kind of a theme. Maybe you want to connect with more people, or you want to find your own peer group, or you just want to go out there and show what you've been working on, or what your talents are, or what your potential is. Jupiter in first house can really boost your confidence, your ability to attract attention, to be respected and appreciated, and overall to have the courage to start new things, to learn, grow, and expand. Jupiter is in Aquarius between January and the middle of May, and after that from August until the end of the year. So most of the time, Jupiter is in your first house, which is about going outside, going under the spot of the light, and also doing things that you are inspired to do. For a couple of months between the middle of May and the end of July, Jupiter will move to your second house, which can allow you to see some results from your efforts. When Jupiter is in first house, the main focus is on starting the thing or doing the work. But results usually come when second house is triggered. So this position of Jupiter in second house may help you actually to see some results from your efforts and to focus on even more practical things. This is also quite helpful when it comes to financial stuff, resources, and even your own energy and health. You need to be more careful around January because this is the time when Jupiter in your first house will square Uranus, which will be in your 4th house. And this can bring some kind of unexpected changes related to your personal life, related to your own plans. It might be initiated by you or not, it depends. On top of that, Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, so this is quite an important position and aspect. So be prepared for some kind of changes or something unexpected related to yourself, your own plans, but also related to your family. Okay, the other planet we already mentioned is Saturn, which is also in Aquarius. And I want to remind you that Saturn is not only the ruler of Capricorn, but it's the old ruler of Aquarius. So the modern ruler of Aquarius is Uranus, but the old one is Saturn, and they're kind of sharing this position. So Saturn in Aquarius is also very significant. That's my point. And it's about starting new things, but in a very practical manner, in a very organized, structured, practical way. You need to develop those qualities. I know that the Uranus part of you maybe does not like those things and wants to escape this and say, no, that's not me. I want things to happen in other ways. The truth is that it will be difficult. It's much better for you if you focus on those more practical Saturnian qualities: time management, responsibilities, commitment when it comes to your duties or promises or other people you're responsible of, and just focusing on doing the right thing. If we have to summarize what Saturn wants from us, it's doing the right thing. And in 2021, you really need to ask yourself this question: what's the right thing to do? Not only what do I like, what would be fun, what would be kind of the best for me. No, the best question, the most appropriate question is, what's the right thing to do? That's how you will succeed. That's the whole point. That's what will help you to move forward. So always ask yourself this question: what's the right thing to do? Okay, and this is actually especially important position of Saturn if your sun or rising sign is between the 2nd and the 14th degree. That's the exact position of Saturn. So if you find that Saturn makes conjunction with your ascendant or your sun sign, it's an important thing, but don't be scared. I know that sometimes people expect awful things to happen. Saturn has a very bad reputation sometimes, and it doesn't need to happen like that. You may just focus more on practical things. You can organize yourself better. And if you're wise, if you're doing the right thing, you can actually achieve more results. Yes, it won't happen fast and without any work, but it will be exactly what you deserve. And here, even more important, there are 3 aspects that can really be life-changing for you during the year. February, June, and December, Saturn and Uranus are squaring each other. And one reason because this is why this is so important is because those are the 2 rulers of Aquarius, which more or less shows some kind of stress, some kind of intense energy. But keep in mind that this intense energy can also be directed in a very positive, constructive way. So it doesn't need to be something really bad or something, to be scared of, but it could be a change. It could be a time to face with some kind of limitations or respect certain boundaries, or you might want to get out of this. You might want to break those rules and just do something different. And it's a process. It's something that requires balance. It might trigger the family area, your personal life, and also everything that you are doing personally. So February, June, December, those are the key periods for you. Talking about Uranus, we need to mention the exact degrees. Uranus is in Taurus between the 7th and the 15th degree in your 4th house. Very important if the cusp of your 4th house is between those degrees. And if you're not sure, don't worry about it. You can use my free birth chart calculator. The link for it is below the video. And you just need to calculate your chart and check where is the cusp of your 4th house. If you find that Uranus is crossing the cusp, it can bring some intense changes related to your home, the place where you live, and also your family. Sometimes people can make drastic changes like moving, like relocating, like changing it completely their house. Sometimes those could be unexpected changes. Keep in mind that Uranus sometimes might bring increased potential for accidents, so you may need to be careful also for this part if Uranus crosses the cusp of the house. Honestly, it just requires a deeper analysis in your own chart if that's the case. What else is happening? What's the status of Uranus in the birth chart? And it's just an overall analysis. And if you find that Uranus is squaring your sun or rising sign, in order for this to happen, your sun or ascendant needs to be between the 7th and the 15th degree in Aquarius, plus minus 1-2 degrees. Those are also intense personal changes, transformations, the desire to do something brand new, to do something different, something extraordinary. It can bring lack of stability. It can bring ups and downs, that's for sure, but also it can be very liberating. Next, we have Neptune. Neptune is in Pisces between the 19th and the 24th degree. Important in case Neptune actually crosses the cusp of your 2nd house. Again, check your chart. Where is the cusp of this house? If the cusp is between those degrees here in Pisces, Neptune crossing it can bring some kind of complications when it comes to money and practical things and resources. Sometimes it could be illusions, it could be lack of motivation to work hard, or sometimes it could be about some very irrational decisions. So if Neptune will cross your 2nd house, please be careful when it comes to your financial decisions. And next we have Pluto, which is in your 12th house. This is an important thing in case Pluto actually crosses the cusp of your 12th house. If the cusp of your 12th house is between 25th and 27th degree. If that's the case, this can trigger some deep personal transformations, mostly psychological, but also emotional transformations. And also it may bring certain past memories to the surface so that you can become more consciously aware of them and heal them. If that's not your case, if Pluto is not ingressing your 12th house this year, this is probably not something that you will notice that much. This Pluto position is just not so important for most Aquarius people. Next, we have eclipses and lunar nodes. The North Node is in your 5th house, which is a very positive position. This is the area where you can grow, where you can expand, and you can have more abundance. 5th house is about love, it's about creativity, it's about children and our passions and the things that we love, and overall all the fun stuff in life. Focus on that, enjoy your life, but also you need to learn to take certain emotional risks. The South Node in 11th house means that you need to be less detached and actually become more emotionally involved in things in your life, maybe take certain risks and just live life in a very open way. The eclipses start from May. The May eclipse triggers 5th and 11th house, so it's more about finding the balance between the things that you love, between love and friendship, between the heart and the mind, and just finding this sweet spot. Then the June eclipse triggers the North Node in your 5th house, which is about the future. It's about finding a new direction, starting new things that can be very important for you, and also expanding and growing when it comes to love, romance, children, creativity, and all the things that you love. The November eclipse will trigger your 10th and 4th house, which is about finding the balance between work and personal life. Is there something you need to let go? Is there something you want to change? This may also be kind of the culmination of important matters in those two areas. So career and personal life. And the last eclipse is during December. It will trigger the South Node in your 11th house. And it's about letting the past go. If there are ideas or people in your life that are no longer meant to be there with you, you can let them go. You can set free from the past so that you open the space for something new to come next. Okay, and finally we have the retrograde planets. Venus will be retrograde at the very end of the year, starting from the 19th of December in Capricorn. And it will continue, of course, during January 2022 as well. Venus will be only in Capricorn during the whole time in your 12th house. And this is a more deeper, like private experience that you can go through. You can be over emotional when it comes to the past, when it comes to certain memories. You can explore them. Sometimes this can reawaken old emotions or past relationships. Sometimes certain secrets may also come to the surface. So it's more about psychological, emotional work and more private things that are happening inside that you're not necessarily visible for others. And finally, Mercury retrograde. Mercury will be retrograde only in the air signs during 2021, 3 times. And the first cycle is the most important one because Mercury will be retrograde in Aquarius from the 30th of January until the 20th of February. Mercury retro in first house, of course, brings the focus to yourself, your own actions, everything that you are doing, your independence, your ideas, you. That's kind of the motto. And you need to reconsider, you may need to slow down and revisit and reassess and maybe fix something that's not okay with you. The other periods are also triggering the other fire houses, and basically 1st, 5th, and 9th house are the fire houses in the chart, and they are mostly about the action taking. So 2021 is great for reconsidering the actions you take, your direction, your goals, your vision, your desires. That will be kind of like an important theme for you. And with that, my friends, we covered the most important astrology events. You are the sign who will probably go through the biggest changes during the year. It's a very deep change from having Jupiter and Saturn in 12th house to having them in your 1st house. You see also Mercury will be retrograde in Aquarius. The nodes are triggering also your fire house, 5th house. So it's a new start. It's a fresh new beginning. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to download your gift, the astrology calendar for January. And you can also get the full version for the whole year. We have an amazing Google Calendar integration and also a webinar which comes together with the calendar. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you next time.